Have you ever been driving in a car and got a text message that you couldn't wait to respond to? We all have. We've all been guilty of texting and driving. Today I'm going to tell you a story about my friend. His name is John. And when I was in high school, I've learned a valuable lesson that changed my life forever. And I'm going to share that lesson with you. As I was driving home one night, the road I had driven on many times before, I had noticed something was different. I had noticed I could see police lights from very far away, and I seen smoke coming from over the hill. Every time I would top the hill, I would see smoke. So I finally get to where I noticed the police lights were, and I noticed there was an accident. It took a long time to get past because we all passed the same road when we all lived in the country. So finally I get up to the car and it's on fire. And I look over and I remember thinking to myself, I know that car. But I couldn't be for sure because, how many times have we looked at something or seen something and we thought it was something else and it wasn't. So I remember going home, and about 2 hours later I got a phone call I would never forget. I got a phone call from John's mom, and she had told me that John was in a wreck and that I needed to come to the hospital, that it was an emergency, that he had been, seriously injured. So I get to the hospital and I'm talking to his mom, and she tells me that John had been burned over 85% of his body and that we don't know if he would survive. So days passed and we just prayed and continued to pray and hope that, John would survive. So finally weeks start to pass and months pass and John starts to get better and we start to do skin grafts, and I'm sitting there one day with him and I start to talk to him and I ask him, I said, John, hey, kind of what happened with the wreck? What was going on? So John proceeds to tell me that he was driving down the road that we all drove down, and it's a gravel road, and he gets a text message from a friend and he's responding to it, and he looks up and before he knows it, his car is out of control. He says that he remembers slamming on the brakes and then he doesn't remember anything after that. Texting and driving almost cost my friend John his life. He's one of the lucky ones. And when I say lucky to be burned over 85% of your body and to be scarred and to know that that choice that you made that very moment could have cost you the rest of your life. That's powerful. That's crazy to know that one decision to pick up that text message and to respond could have possibly cost John his life. Do you realize, according to StopTextingStopWrecks.com, 60% of drivers use cell phones while driving? That's a lot of people not paying attention to the road that could possibly wreck. 49% of drivers use the cell phones that are under the age of 35. They send in text while driving. 49% of people, that's insane. 1,600,000 people, that's how many accidents are a year according to the National Safety Council, and 330,000 in injuries per year, and that's according to the Hardcore Center Risk Analysis Study. According to theguidance.com, a texting driver is 23 more times likely to get into a car accident than a non-texting driver. 28% of accidents in 1.6 miles on the U.S. highway, those were all by texting and driving. Can you believe those statistics? To know that many people have been in accidents because of texting and driving. Take the pledge to not text and drive. You can find an app. There's so many solutions in there to figure out what to do other than texting and driving. You could designate a texter. If there's somebody in the car and that message is that important, find somebody to text for you. You can turn your phone on silent so you don't even know it's texting. You can also use multiple hands-free devices out there. If we wouldn't text, then we would decrease accidents. We would save lives. Simply not texting can save lives. Today, I would like to challenge you to join myself and many others to make a life-changing commitment to never text and drive. All drivers can take the pledge at www.itcanwait.com. So, is texting worth a life? Today, I hope you choose to save a life. Don't text or drive. No text is worth anybody's life.